Good afternoon, everybody. What is going on? I am jeffgrantMEDIA. In today's real user review, we are going to be taking a look at the straight fit jeans from 7 Titans. Now, 7 Titans did send me these as a sample for review, but all of the opinions in this video are mine and mine alone. I did not share this content with 7 Titans prior to publication. They will see this when you do. In addition to that, there is an affiliate link in the description box down below. If you are considering buying these jeans, please consider using that link. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but I do get a small percentage of that sale kicked back to me, and all the money goes back into the channel to help me produce more content so consumers can make informed purchasing decisions. So yesterday we hit 30 days of wear in these jeans, so it is now time to dig into how they're wearing, how they're lasting, and are they worth $525? So if you aren't familiar with 7 Titans, instead of me making this video longer, because it's already probably going to be 20 minutes long, you can go ahead and click this link right up here. That will take you to the unboxing video I did where I took a bit of a deep dive into 7 Titans. But the Cliff Notes version, 7 Titans is a brand new company on the scene. These are selvage denim jeans made from proximity mills using all 100% American-made materials. From the cotton to the metal to the packaging materials and the ink, it's all American-made. Hence the $525 price point. So again, deeper dive, check out that link there. It'll take you to the unboxing video. But we now have had 30 days in a row. I wear these every single day for 30 days post the second shrink to fit, because these are a shrink to fit. These are unsanfordized jeans. These are untreated, completely untreated from the loom. So they're basically woven and then cut and sewn into the pair of jeans. So these are shrink to fit. So you want to make sure you buy them. Mine were a 36, and I generally buy a 32 in vanity, a 34 in non-vanity sizing. Vanity sizing is generally 2 to 2.5 inches bigger than your waist size. For example, in a pair of Levi's, I wear a 32 waist, but that 32 waist in that pair of Levi's is actually about a 34.5 inch waist. So check your size charts. I will buy anything that comes in that 34 to 34.5 inch waist measurements. So the 36s, while are a tiny bit big on me, they shrank down to be about, I have all my measurements, they're a little bit bigger. I think they're about a 35 now. They have stretched out, so we could probably actually measure them today after 30 days of wear post 2 shrinks. But these are shrink to fit, so make sure you can consult the size chart to get about a size or 2 bigger than what you actually wear. So once you shrink them, they will fit you, because if you buy these to fit, once you shrink and soak these, they are going to be too small for you. So let's go ahead and talk about how I wore these jeans. Well, these have been a daily driver for me since the second soak. I've been wearing these every single day, whether that being going to work. I am a corporate videographer, so I'm working both in the office and now on some of these days when it's not raining, we are doing some outside lifestyle shoots, as well as a lot of studio work. I've been quite busy lately. And, you know, because it is about that Easter time of the year, we have been doing quite a few weekend events with the Tiny Tot, Miss Hazel Fantastic. So we have been quite active over the past month or so, doing something just about every single weekend. And I also have been tinkering around in my basement workshop, messing around with a few things here or there. No big projects, but I have certainly worn these in the basement, cutting some wood and screwing some things together. So one of the really cool features that I talked about and showcased in the unboxing video are these pocket bags here. Now, what Ross did, the owner of 7 Titans, he commissioned a large mural to be made, and then he printed that mural out on the material to make the pocket bags out of. So each pair of 7 Titans jeans have a piece of that mural on them. And these pocket bags, I don't know if they're all like this, but at least these 2 pocket bags are actually the same section. So if you put these together, they are basically the same part of the mural there. So that's pretty cool. So it'll kind of, if I line it up a little bit better, you get a better idea. So that's kind of cool. It will, it carries on throughout. And I really like that. You can see mine, they're a little worn because I've been wearing these for 30 days straight. So one of the things that I missed though, when I originally saw these, is that the back pockets are actually also lined with part of that same mural, and they also feature a selvage ID across the top. So we have our selvage ID, and both pockets are also lined with sections of that same mural. In addition to the back pockets, the 5th pocket is also lined with a section of that mural and also features a selvage ID. So we have the 5th pocket, and the rear pockets of the jeans having that same mural. So that is a nice little attention to detail that I had completely missed in my original video. And one of the other cool things that Ross did here was, it's really hard to see, but there's these two little nubs here at the top of the back belt loops. And what these are for are to hang to dry the jeans. So the reinforced, there's an extra little piece of bar tacking there. So the reinforced, so when you're hanging these jeans to dry, you're not hanging them from the belt loops and then you're gonna kind of warp the jean over time. So what I did was, I actually have a hanger that I use. It's a heavier duty hanger. And then what I did was, I found a package of metal shower curtain hooks in my upstairs bathroom drawer. So I tossed those on and they fit perfectly through these little tabs. And that is how I've been hanging these to dry. Now, one of the other main features of these jeans, and probably the most important one that I did touch on in my unboxing video, is the fact that these are 100% American made. From the cotton, to the manufacturing of the denim, to the cutting and sewing of them into jeans, to the leather patch, to all of the metal that is used to make these, that be the rivets and the buttons used, everything is 100% made, down to the paper and the ink that is printed on the paper when you get these in the mail. So the tags, the stitching, the cotton used to make these, all 100% American made. And the denim used to make these is from Proximity Mills. Proximity Mills being part of the White Oak Legacy Foundation. When Cone Mills shut down, 2 of those looms remained in North Carolina on the same property that used to be the Cone Mills plant. So now 2 looms that are on the Cone Mills property that are run by former Cone Mills employees make Proximity denim. And the other looms were sold off to Vidalia Mills, and they went over to Louisiana, currently defunct. And I believe, if not at the time of filming, right about the time I'm filming this, those are all up for sheriff's auctions. Hopefully all of those remaining looms at least stay in the US. I'm hoping they get sold off to maybe a couple of different manufacturers, so we can get a variety of American-made selvage instead of having just one plant making, with 2 looms making selvage denim in America. So we have some history in the denim. We have some scarcity in the denim because there's no longer anyone else making American-made selvage denim, and 100% American-made. And one point of note, you'll notice that the hardware on these, there's no branding on. And that was something that Ross had told me in our conversation, that all of the American-made hardware, that being rivets and buttons, will be unbranded because no one in America currently has the capability to press and stamp logos or names into the hardware. And that would be because it is quite expensive and people can find it much cheaper overseas. So if you take a quick look at all of the hardware on these 7T jeans, you will see absolutely no branding at all on them. Now, another feature that I did already mention is that these are Loom State denim. So these are untreated, unsanfordized. These will shrink to fit. In addition to that shrink to fit, you may notice that you might also get a little bit of crocking from the indigo onto the weft of the pants. Now, it's probably more prominent on the inside of the jeans. This would have been from basically me soaking these, sitting in the tub of hot water in these for a half an hour, and all that indigo that was floating around inside that water also got to the inside of the jeans. It did crock onto the weft of the jeans. So you can see a little bit of indigo here on the weft. Now, this isn't a stark white weft. This is kind of like a natural kind of weft, so it doesn't stand out as bad. And the place that would really show to anyone that could notice would be on your cuffs. And while you can see a little bit on the cuffs, I found that it was more so up in the seat and the crotch area where I got a lot of that crocking. But you can see a few lines throughout here of some of that indigo that crocked onto the weft of the jeans. So let's talk about the shrink to fit process for a minute here. I did a full video on it. You can check that out right up here. But basically, I sat in a tub of hot water for 30 minutes per the instructions in the manual. Now, the only downside is I have a standard tub, so I could not be completely submerged in the water. So either my ankles were out or my waist was out. And generally, because I was sitting there for half an hour, I was kind of sitting where it's comfortable for me. So my waist was out most of the time. So I have this little jug that we use when Hazel gets a bath to just dump hot water over here to rinse the shampoo out. I just kept taking that and taking buckets of water and pouring them over the waistband. While it worked, the downside with the tub is by the time the tub gets filled up, if I only use hot water, it's going to take forever to fill, so it's going to be cold. So if I want to have enough water pressure to fill the tub at a reasonable rate, I have to mix in a little bit of cold water. So what I did was I filled it up pretty high, and then I turned the cold off and cranked it fully hot. So I got it pretty hot, but again, I wasn't fully submerged, and the water it's a tub, it's open, so it didn't stay hot, like scalding hot for very long. So while it was still lukewarm water at the end, it wasn't hot for 30 minutes. So I ended up doing a second soak, if you will, where I basically took a scalding hot shower with just the jeans on for, I think I stayed in there for about 15 minutes, because then I had to take an actual shower. So I had to take the jeans off and clean my body from the indigo that was now coming off onto my legs, as well as take a real shower before I completely ran out of hot water. And I think that worked a little bit better for me, because I was able to get scalding hot water for the duration of me being in there. And it was also a little bit weirder than sitting in the tub for half an hour, but it didn't feel as weird at the time. Thinking about it in hindsight, I didn't film it because no one wants to see that. It was certainly an interesting experience to be standing in a hot shower wearing a pair of jeans. Not to say that sitting in a tub in a pair of jeans was any better of an experience, but certainly standing in the shower wearing a pair of jeans was a bit of a stretch even for me. But I did it, and I think that that worked a little bit better. So we have all of our numbers logged in. So what we did was we measured the halves before. So if you want to get the actual waist measurement, just times any of these by 2. So my jeans are tagged a 36. So my original waist would have been 18 3/4. My thigh was 12 1/2. My inseam was 35 1/8. And my leg openings were 8 3/4. Now after the first soak, that being the one in the tub, the waist shrank down to 17 1/2, which would be about a 35 waist. Still a tiny bit too big for me. The thighs went down to 12 inches, so we lost about a half an inch in the thigh. The inseam went down to 33 inches even, so we took down 2 1/8 inches from the inseam. And the leg openings shrank down to 8 1/4, so they shrunk in about a half an inch. Now, the second hot soak, which would be me standing in the shower, we took the waist down to 17 1/4, which would get me to that about 34 1/2 inch waist, which would be my vanity sizing. The thighs came down to 11 3/4, so they came in an extra 1/4 of an inch. The inseam stayed at 33, that didn't shrink anymore, and the leg opening stayed at 8 1/4. So for the second soak, we did take an extra 1/4 inch off both the waist and the thigh, but as we got down lower, we didn't experience any more shrinkage in the length of the inseam or the leg openings. Now, let's go ahead and measure what our waist would be after we've done 2 soaks and now have worn these for 30 days straight without any more soaking or washing. And the 2 big ones would be the waist and the thigh, because those are the ones we saw the difference. Now I am pulling these, you can see, as I relax it, it goes in. So I'm not like pulling it super tight, but I am going to kind of straighten it out so we get a full idea of what our waist would be. So if we do that, we kind of just tuck it in there. Let's see. So we're back out to right about 18 even. So they actually stretched out about a half an inch more in the waist. So we are back up to about a 36 waist. Now I would like to also add that these jeans are noticeably a little bit larger than me. And if I do not wear a belt, these will definitely fall down. Now, a pair of jeans will stretch a half inch to 2 inches with wear. In shrink to fit, it's an interesting game to play. It really depends. The denim, sometimes they will give you an estimate from the company. I believe Ross said these will shrink up to about 2 inches. And we did see that, did we not? We saw about a 2-inch shrink from initially being 18 3/4 all the way down to 17 1/4. Now they're back up to right at 18. So they actually stretched out 3/4 of an inch from the second soak, but they're still 3/4 of an inch smaller than when they originally got them. So, I mean, shrink to fit, it's one of the reasons I don't really do shrink to fit often, or really at all anymore, is because it's a game that you kind of have to figure out, and it's a balance that you got to figure out. And let's see what the thighs will also look like after playing that shrink to fit game. And we are at right about 12 1/2 inches. So our thighs stretched out about 3/4 of an inch, which is to be expected. I've always been an active person, even since I was a kid. I grew up skateboarding, snowboarding, rollerblading, BMX biking, mountain biking, and then as a young adult, I started to run. So I've always had thicker thighs, and that's kind of been my Achilles heel, or my pinch point, if you will, with jeans, was my thighs. They get a little snug sometimes. So I've always kind of had that issue with my thighs stretching out. So that was kind of to be expected. And I'm okay with it. They're comfortable to wear around the thighs. Now, again, the waist is a little bit bigger than I would like. Noticeably bigger, in fact. So in hindsight, with this particular denim, I would maybe have gone with a 35 waist. So when they shrank down, they would probably fit right about that 34 and a half inch waist, right where I like it, instead of about that 36. So they are noticeably big where I have to wear a belt with these. Now, it's blasphemy, but I'm going to say it. I can probably throw these in the dryer and they will probably shrink. I'm not going to do that. I think I've only had one pair that was actually thrown in 2 times in the dryer. My wife saw them. They're hanging up over the downstairs shower, which is now why I hang all of my denim in the basement to dry. She saw them, thought they were just a pair of wet jeans, threw them in the dryer. And while I say they did shrink up a little bit, once I wore them, they stretched back out. The thing with the dryer, it's not necessarily the shrinking, it's the tumbling, which gives you abrasion fades on your selvage denim, which you do not want, because that's when you get those like marbling, ugly, not good, those ugly looking fake fades. But I was happy to report that at least I had them inside out, so they didn't get messed up. But while we're talking about fades, let's get into the fades on my 7 Titans jeans. Now, these are a 12.5 ounce selvage denim jean. It has been my experience, anything from about 12 to 14 ounce denim, it takes quite a while to start seeing noticeable fades, up to 3 months in fact. And while it is not incredibly noticeable coming through on camera, I will say after 10 or 12 days, I was actually starting to see quite a bit of fades coming through on the knees and the thighs of these jeans. Now, some of your high points, as you can see here, I had a Zippo in my pocket. They will pop up pretty quickly after about a month or so. But after only about 10 or 12 days when I was putting my jeans on, both knees were noticeably showing some signs of fade. Again, not the best coming through on camera, but to the naked eye, you can already start to see some fades on the knees. And then after about 20 wears, the thighs were really starting to show as well. We also have some nice whiskering going on from the top of the pocket coming down through the thighs. You can also see the crotch here is showing quite a bit of wear. Again, after only about 30 wears of this lighter weight denim showing these signs pretty rapidly, I might add. Now, one of the things that I've noticed here, you see some of this creasing going on both of my back pockets. What that is, it's the actual pocket bags that are inside. They're kind of bunching up. And the reason they're bunching up is there's no arcuate on the back of these pockets. What the arcuate does, it kind of holds that pocket bag liner to the actual back pocket so you don't get all of this bunching. Now, one of the reasons 7 Titans as well as other companies just forego the back arcuate is because companies are sue happy. Levi's likes to sue all the time if they think anyone's arcuate even remotely resembles a Levi's arcuate. So some companies either do just like a straight line or just completely forego them. Now, certain back pockets are unlined, so it's not an issue, but when you have a lined back pocket and you don't have an arcuate, you will get some of this bunching up. Now, personally, I don't mind it. The left pocket actually looks like it's almost an arcuate. It's a straight line, where the right one has some of these extra pieces of creasing here. I'm sorry, that's actually from my pocket knife. This creasing and this creasing here. They're kind of cool. I like it. It adds to it. Now, I have been putting my wallet in my back right pocket, and I've changed to putting my pocket knife up here. So we are seeing some creasing and a little bit of fading going on here where my pocket knife has been sitting in my back pocket. And you will notice a distinct lack of cell phone fade in my front left pocket, which is generally where I keep my cell phone, because I have now been keeping it in my back left pocket, because while I don't mind a cell phone fade, I'm not finding it to be the most ideal or aesthetically pleasing. I'd rather just see whiskers across my front legs. So I've been trying to break habit and carry my cell phone in my back pocket as opposed to my front pocket, which is really hard for me because I am most certainly a creature of habit. So to run that back through real quick, we have a 100% American-made product from field to finish. We have it made at an iconic mill that basically started it all with the American-made selvage denim. We have a 12.5 ounce year-round wearing denim that fades pretty quickly, and for those denim heads, this is something that you will probably like and enjoy. And it all comes in at $525 USD. But let's talk about that $525 price point. That is, in fact, the elephant in the room. That is what I get the most comments on, or see the most comments on, the price point. And two of the biggest comments are, I can get a pair of Ironhearts for for $385, and you most certainly can. I got a pair right over there. Absolutely love, one of my favorite pairs of jeans. Or I can get a pair of Brave Stars or Tellison for like 160 to like 260 bucks, and you most certainly can. You can get any one of those companies, and it'd be awesome. I have products, jeans, and jackets from all three of those companies, all great companies. But you know what else you can get from Ironheart? A $500 pair of jeans. You know what else you can get from other American-made salvage companies, some that you might not even know about? $500+ pairs of salvage denim jeans. Hell, Naked and Famous just sold out in 60 seconds or less of their 40-ounce denim, okay, heaviest denim in the world, for $2,040. That's like 4 pairs of these. 60 seconds or less they sold out. I don't know how many pairs they made. I wasn't really interested in it. I knew it was going to be expensive. I didn't even know how much it cost till after it sold out. It's when I kind of got curious and looked, but I knew it would be pricey, and I knew it wasn't something I was interested in, so I didn't really look. But people tried to buy it. So they sold out so fast that there were people not only willing to pay for it, but there were people mad that they couldn't get it because they were also willing to pay for it. So while you may not be able to afford $525 for a pair of jeans, that's fine. There are plenty of other solid options. I myself am not a man of means. I do not have fuck you money. I am like solid middle class, maybe even like upper lower middle class, if you will. And I buy myself 2 to maybe 3 big ticket items per year. And I do them usually around my birthday and around Christmas. And I do around Christmas because I like to try to find Black Friday sales. So I put a lot of time and effort into thinking about what I'm going to spend my money on. And I will sometimes mill over these things for months before I finally decide on what I'm going to get. And it's kind of how it helps me save up the money to buy these things, because I can't just run out and buy these things. I'm sure I can throw these on my credit card, but then I'm paying interest and they're going to cost me more than $525. So I put a lot of thought and a lot of effort into what I'm going to spend my money on, as most people should. Sure, there are people that can buy these or other ridiculously expensive, non-salvage, crappy jeans that they're paying for solely for the name on the label and spend thousands of dollars on that, and that's nothing to them. That's like the burrito I bought myself for dinner last night, where I was like, I feel like I want a burrito tonight, and I bought a burrito. It's like, I feel like buying these, $1,000 pair of, I don't know, what, Gucci jeans, or these $2,000 pair of Gucci jeans. I just feel like buying them because I'm out and about. There's people that can do that. I'm not one of them, so I put a lot of thought and a lot of effort. So would I buy these 7 Titans jeans with my own money? And I'm unsure. 100%, I'm totally unsure. I don't want to say I would, because I don't know. I don't know if I would. I don't want to say I wouldn't, because again, I just don't know. It's a great product. It's a 100% American-made product. It's fading nicely. I like the feel of it. It's my first pair of proximity denim jeans. I like everything about these. I saw this on an Instagram comment reply from 7 Titans, and I did reach out to Ross. He did confirm that he is considering in the future maybe putting out a non-salvage line of jeans, all American made, same American made supply chain, that will come in considerably lower. The price point really is because salvage denim. There's now only one place making salvage denim in America. You can't get salvage denim for really much less. So the price point is a lot to do with this being salvage denim. He can get quality denim made in America for considerably cheaper. So in the future, he is going to try to introduce fully American-made products that aren't salvage. So that will offer you a fully American-made supply chain at a lower price point. I don't know what that price point would be. I did confirm with him. He said it's something he is working on. I don't know how soon it may come to fruition, or if it will, it might evaporate because he might not be able to get the quality materials that he wants. So it may come out in the future that you can get 7 Titans stuff cheaper because it will not be salvage denim. It'll still be American-made, just not salvage. So while I completely understand why these are $525, and I accept that as a very valid price point for what you're getting on this product, I think these are worth every bit of $525. Do I want to spend my $525 on these jeans? And honestly, I can't answer it. That is something that I've been thinking about this entire time. I wanted to give my honest answer, yes or no. If I would say it's worth $525 to me, and I honestly do not know. I've gone back and forth throughout this entire testing and wear. I really like the jeans. They're comfortable. They're wearing well. I'm getting cool fades out of them quickly. But that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And for someone that's like me, that's kind of middle of the road, where I do buy myself some expensive things throughout the year, but I put a lot of time and effort into thinking about it. I honestly can't answer it definitively. I like it. I've gone back and forth where I'm saying, yeah, I'll 100% buy those. I love them. They're great. To they're good jeans, but I can get something else for half the price or $150 cheaper. I honestly can't answer the question. If you can afford them, by all means get them. If you're on the fence and you like to buy yourself one or two nice things throughout the year, if you get them, I do not think you'll be disappointed with them. If you are scoffing at the price because it is too expensive, believe me, I get it. That is a lot of money for a pair of jeans. There are other options out there, but I can't answer it. I honestly don't know. I'm torn. It's a great product. I don't think you'd be disappointed if you got them, but it's a lot of money to spend for a singular pair of jeans. So ultimately, it's a great product. I'm enjoying wearing it. I'm enjoying testing it. I'm going to keep wearing these. They're great, but I can't definitively answer if I would spend my own $525 on it. So we're going to leave it there. If you have any questions about them, drop a comment down below, hit me in the email that's listed in the description. I'll be more than happy to have a conversation. Maybe, 6 months down the line, my ideas, my thought might change. I'll be like, yeah, you know what? These things like part of me now. I absolutely love them. And my opinion will change. But honestly, right now, I can't definitively say if I would spend my own $525 on them. It's a great jean. It's a great product. I love the fact that Ross went out and put in the legwork to make sure that every part and asset of these jeans are American made. That is amazing. That's a lot of work, a lot of effort. That's dedication, not only to the selvage denim community, but to making a 100% American made product and starting a brand new company, launching. That's brave, really, to launch his company with 2 cuts of jeans and some shirts that are all 100% American made at a very high price point. That was brave. It took some guts to do it. I'm glad he did it. I'm glad that he took a chance to send me a pair of jeans because he didn't know what I'm going to say. He still doesn't know what I'm going to say till this thing gets edited and goes live. But yeah, ultimately what I could say is it's a great pair of jeans. They fit good. They're wearing good. I might have to put some boiling water on to shrink them down just a little bit more. But it's been a fun experience to test them, and I never thought I'd be standing in the shower wearing a pair of jeans. So with that, if you like this video or any of my other videos, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Smash that big red button and ring that bell right next to it. So notifications next time I post a brand new video. Good night.